at that time period, all of a sudden I was accountable to my husband. I was accountable to being a mom. Becoming a mom changes your entire, like, rewires your actual brain. So like, there's so much at that time that was, it felt like it, like the entire, like you're balancing on a piece, on a log in the ocean, where it's like the ground is always changing. You have no idea what's coming next. Like everything is new and it's beautiful, but you also are just like, at any minute I could drown. That's kind of the vibe of the album, maybe.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with singer-songwriter and Folk Potions founder Raina Rose, who joins us from her home in Austin, Texas with a smoothie to revisit her 2013 album Caldera. She talks about the many landscapes that inspired the songs, taking her time to record them, and how becoming a mother changed everything. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us all the way from the other end of I-35, Raina Rose joining us from Austin, Texas.
Hello. There's a live studio audience.
They are live and they're ready to go. Alinda was first to the party from New Haven, Connecticut. Hello. And Connie joining us from Richfield. And if you are joining us, this is a special lunchtime taping, which we don't always do. And we are excited to be here. And it being lunchtime, I have a little salmon bowl that I cooked up for myself with some leftover. Just whatever was in the fridge, I threw in a bowl. And luckily it happened to be salmon today. So that was good. And then I have a pineapple tonic I thought I'd make myself a fun mocktail for lunch today.
That's cute.
Raina, what do you have cooking up in Austin?
I have a green smoothie full of powdered mushrooms and yogurt. And
I can feel its healing properties from here.
It's strong stuff. And I also feel like that's awesome because that's drink and lunch happening all at once. So that's really good.
I like a smoothie.
And Tony, what do you have going on over there?
I've got a cherry flavored sparkling water here in my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass.
Oh, it looks pretty good in that glass. And we have Alan joining us, says yay Austin. He's joining us, I believe, from the Dallas, Fort Worth area, I think. And then he says, Green, Texas. That's where he's joining us from. Alan says, what goes with a G&T for lunch? Well, I think anything goes with a G&T for lunch. A lime. Just suck on that lime.
Then you don't get scurvy.
That's right. Scurvy. That's right. My grandfather used to say that. So Christopher joined us lunch with a BCLP party today from Savage, Minnesota. Well, welcome to the lunchtime party. I can't think of better folks to hang out with and have lunch with. This is better than my average lunch, I gotta say. The food, the company, and the music. So I'm really excited about this hour. And in particular, I'm excited to see you, Raina, because it's been a hot minute since I've gotten to see your face, even on a screen. So this is really exciting. And you've been busy with so many things.
Lots of things.
But why don't we start by, for folks who are less familiar with your music than I, maybe we just start with a little background. Like, where did you grow up and how did you fall into writing songs?
Great question. I was born in Los Angeles and my mom hated it. So we moved to Portland, Oregon when I was about 6 and in the late 80s. And I grew up in Portland. It was an incredible place to grow up. It was green and beautiful and waterfalls and ocean and mountains and trees and all that. And I started playing guitar when I was 11. My dad is a musician. He's got a degree in the history of country and Western music,
Nice.
which he, I think, used only to teach me.
All 3 chords?
Yes. And I started playing guitar when I was 11, I'd walk down the street like 8 blocks to the co-op, and my guitar teacher, Ronnie Robbins, lived over the grocery co-op in Northwest Portland. And when I was about 13, I had learned the F chord, and I decided that I knew everything and didn't need a teacher anymore. And so that's when I really started writing songs and playing them at like open mics. Our high school had open mics at a local Unitarian church, which is also where I grew up, in that Unitarian church. And so I would go play songs. I'd play like one original song and then like one Indigo Girls song. So that was my gig. And then after high school, I didn't go to college. I went and worked at my summer camp and became like the jukebox of the summer camp, because we weren't allowed to have electronic music playing devices. So I basically learned any song anybody wanted to hear that was in popular music and would play those. So that's like really, that was my education as a musician.
So what era was that? Like what songs were you playing? Like what?
It was the 90s. So it was like, and it was a YWCA camp, and our motto was empowering women and eliminating racism in any form it may exist. So you can imagine the kind of kid that would get involved in this. So it was a lot of Ani DeFranco, a lot of Indigo Girls, a lot of Dar Williams, Paul Simon. I knew some, like I knew like Mbop by Hanson, like I knew some like popular hits, but it was mostly like folk music.
Yeah.
And then I started touring after coming to the Kerrville Folk Festival for the first time in 2005. And I just like saw people living in their cars and touring around playing music. And I was like, oh, I can do that. Like, I don't have to wait for anybody to come like pluck me out of obscurity. I can just go move into my car and like play at coffee shops. Hi, Benny. Hi. So that's what I did. And then I ended up moving to Austin in 2007 because I absolutely love the music scene here. It's a real high tide raises all ships kind of music scene. Like everybody is kind and shares, and it's really intergenerational. Like you'll have a 20-year-old fiddle player playing with like a 65-year-old bass player. So it's like, it's such a kind and welcoming music community. And that's why I live here now, which is kind of crazy. I never thought I'd end up in Texas, but you follow your gut.
Yeah.
Well, great music. So that too.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of really good music here.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you've logged in a lot of miles in various vehicles over the years, and played all over North America and Europe, and released a bunch of records. So tell us about the record that you picked to feature on today's show.
This is Caldera. I think it was my 5th full-length record. It was produced by my husband, Andrew Pressman, and it's kind of like the first record that I made where I didn't have to get it done in like 2 days. So it was like everything else had been like live as quick as you can. That take was fine. Like, don't edit or tune or do anything. Like, it was just like, get the songs out and that's it. So that record, Caldera, is what I I think of it as my first really good record. Like one that I'm like, okay, this like can stand the test of time. And we like took our time with it. And, I'm proud of it still, even, 14 years later, 13 years later.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to dig into this record and talk more about the making of it and the writing of the songs. But we're going to start off with this tune that you picked, Woodsmoke. Is there anything you want to say about the song before we take a listen?
I wrote it on the only time I've been to Alaska. So that was on my bucket list. I wanted to drive to Alaska. So I booked 8 gigs and I took a road trip from Portland to Alaska in 2009. And it was incredible. It was incredible. Alaska's unbelievable. So think about Alaska.
All right. You have that image in your mind, folks. And let's give a listen to Woodsmoke from Raina Rose here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Your heart is a lake, it's as blue as the sky. It's the same shade as your eyes. It's impossible. Your heart is a lake, it's as big as this state. It's hard to trespass, verily improbable. And I got shoes to walk to you. I got shoes to walk to you. I got shoes. Our histories are laundry lists and mysteries. It's a long box full of oil and gold. To decipher, I'd need a decoder, a ring on my left hand finger, and that's improbable. And I got the rose at the stove. I got the rose at the stove. And I got the rose at the stove. How cold is the winter air? Could we build a fire against the weather? And you look like a hawk undressing in the low light there. Even your summer skin smelling of wood, smoke, and vetiver. Come down from that fever here, have a drink, it's a draft of this landscape impossible. Come down, have some wine, you're invited across this boundary line. I got wood, smoke, and vetiver.
Lovely. Raina Rose with Woodsmoke from her 2013 album Caldera, which we are revisiting today with Raina joining us for a special lunchtime edition of the back catalog listening party, and Connie chiming in to say haunting sound. And I love the pace of it. Like, you know, sometimes when you think, oh, you're talking about being inspired by the drive, you know, from Portland to Alaska, you often driving songs, you think like up tempo and like, you know, but I love that this is really it is a mood. It's like, it takes its time. And I really like that. Yeah.
Well, that's a long drive.
It's true. You got to have it last.
You got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say, out of the gate, it's a really beautifully recorded album. That I was really just enjoying all the sonics. particularly a big fan of like the vibraphone in
Yeah.
there. I'd love to hear just where this was recorded, who you recorded with. I mean, you mentioned your husband, and
Yeah.
any players or anybody you want to mention from the record.
Totally. Okay, so we recorded it at the Church House Studio in Austin, which is like a beautiful old church building. The guy who owns it, I'm blanking on his name, but it'll come to me in a second. He has the piano that Rogers and I think it's Hammerstein from Rogers and Hammerstein.
wow.
It was his piano, which as like a musical theater nerd, I was like, ooh.
Right.
And we did most of the takes live-ish, like it was like we had the drums and the guitar and the bass happening, and then we would do like a scratch take, and then I would replace a guitar part or replace a vocal part. So everything was all isolated, but we were doing the songs together. My friend Robin McMillan, who actually my husband went to like elementary school with, and high school and middle school and everything, he plays drums, and he is a just remarkable musician. I think maybe John Elliott plays keys on that, but I can't exactly remember. John Elliott, who's a good friend of mine and from Minnesota, played keys on a bunch of songs on the record. And let's see, we had a like 13-person choir come in and overdub the vocals at the end. And we didn't give them too much direction. It was just like, sing what you feel. And there's some really cool like harmonic extensions in that choral part that came through that were just like the brilliance of the musicians who came and sang with us. I think it was like Daughtry Bean and Carrie Elkin and Dana Falconberry and a bunch of others, but I'm not remembering. It was a lot of people, and it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I was also noticing those vocals. And I mean, I muted myself so I could sing along too. But yeah, it just has that lovely, it felt like a warm blanket. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, really, really nice.
Hey there, would you like to be part of the live show? Well, become a member of the Back Catalog Listening Party Patreon, and you'll get a backstage pass to weekly online tapings where you can ask the artist questions and participate in the live chat with a fun community of like-minded music nerds. You'll also get a first look at upcoming guests and receive invitations to special live streams and private after parties. So join the party today at patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
So when you drove from Portland to Alaska, you must have gone through Canada. So were you playing spots along the way? On the way, you just camped and hung out.
We just camped. Yeah, we just slept on the side of the road, and like it was incredible because there's so much of nothing between like Vancouver, BC, and I think we went first to Anchorage. So like there's Whitehorse, the Yukon.
Yeah, that's like the last stop for a long time.
Yeah, that's it. So that much nothing was so cool. And at some points you're on like dirt roads and it's just like, oh my God, we're just in the middle of Canada. Like maybe we're not even in the right place. Like it was cool. It was a real adventure.
Nice.
We just drove straight up there. I think it was 3 days, mostly like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and those like Tasty Bites Indian food packets.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And was that a part of the writing for the whole record, or just that song? Like was that a time in your life that was kind of influencing what we're hearing today on this album?
That most of the songs on the record were written between like, that might be one of the older ones, like 2009. I think that's one of the oldest songs on the record because that one I wrote like before I was really with my husband, before I had a kid. And there are a bunch of songs on the record that are post having kid. But so it's like kind of like this album that spans this, pre-matrescence and then into post-matrescence. So, that's the name of the record. A caldera is like the hole left by a volcano, right? So that was what I was like thinking in terms of like, having a kid leaves that much of an impact.
Mm.
It's like it blows your entire life up and leaves a completely different landscape, basically.
Well said.
Thank you.
And speaking of that, I think we have a picture from that from around the time of making this record.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
I'll
Let's
grab
see.
that here.
And so this is you with one of your sons.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's Emmett.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
He just graduated 8th grade.
oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah.
He looks a little younger in this photo.
A little, yeah.
For those of you who are just listening to the podcast version of the show, we're looking at a beautiful black and white photo of Raina holding her baby son. I don't know how old at the time, but those curls.
He was 1. He was like right around 1. Yeah.
So
He was
so
a
great.
sweet baby. Yeah.
So so you were still touring when you had your son, right? So
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm always curious because I mean, yeah, I figured it was enough to play like hometown shows with a baby. You know. But tell us about did you just take him on the road with you? Did you and Andrew just tour as a family, or did you bring someone with you, or how did you make that work?
Yes to all those questions. We were 29 when we had Emmett, and we 2 months later like basically hit the road after he was born. So 2 months after he was born, we went to Los Angeles with Anthony DaCosta and John Elliott to make a record that never even really got released. And then we went to Folk Alliance. Like we toured with Emmett until he was about 2, and it just became like clear insanity. Like it was just like, this is not, you can't expect a 2-year-old to get to a house concert and behave.
Right.
You know, like it's just, and most houses, you know, we were playing a lot of house concerts, a lot of like really small venues. So like a 2-year-old, no places are set up for 2-year-olds like that, you know? So the real turning point was we went to a house concert and there was like a glass case of vintage razor blades that was unlocked. And like, I was like, oh no, we have to stop. This is over.
Yeah.
we have to stop.
Yeah.
So, and that was like as a family, like that was Andrew and I were touring with Emmett. We were in the folk documentary, which was a beautiful documentary made by Sarah Terry, who recently passed away. And we occasionally had our friend Jamie come with us and tour nanny. And that was the best of times, was when we had just an extra set of hands whose job was to help with the baby. But when Emmett was about 2, and then I got pregnant with our other son, Benny, it was like, okay, one of us has to stay home and one of us goes and works. And thankfully, my husband, Andrew, got a gig with Megan Mullally, who was on TV's Will and Grace, doing her cabaret band at around that time. So he would go out for months at a time, and then I'd be home with the kids, occasionally playing local shows when it made sense, because you know, it's like the shows paid as much as the babysitter cost often. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Wow. Well, that definitely is an adventure. And
yeah.
And so this also explains why, you know, there's a period of time where the albums came a little bit slower. Like for instance, you know, this album came out in 2013, right?
Yeah.
And then you've only had one other album since then, right?
Yeah, we made Vesta in Nashville with JT Nero in 2018, but I didn't release it until 2020 because it just wasn't done and life is crazy. So like it just took a long time. And then so we released that in February of 2020. Then, you know, everything went away. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I hear that you're working on something new. So maybe we might get something in the next year-ish.
Yeah. Yes. And hopefully we can release it in early 2027.
Excellent.
That's the goal. And I think we should be able to make that happen.
Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, until then, we're going to enjoy your back catalog, and we're going to dig a little deeper into Caldera. Yeah. And the next track you picked to feature is Swing Wide the Gates. Is there anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, this song was written right after Emmett was born, and we had we lived in a tiny shack on the east side of Austin where the porch was made with tombstone seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the porch that we're on when I wrote this song.
All right, let's give it a spin. This is Swing Wide the Gates from Raina Rose here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Silk and sparrow's wings, I hung on to the diesel train. Marrow clean of any word, drip from my lips your name. I've been strong as summer, and I've been weak as winter, lost in the cross and found as a sinner. Made to cry, man is made to sin. Swing wide the gates and come back in. Tiny child, sweet sweating dreams, asleep against your mama's breast. Never more a fosterling, come home, carry your family's crest. Strong as summer, and I've been weak as winter, lost in the cross and found as a sinner. Oh no, woman's made to cry, man is made to sin. Swing wide the gates and come back in.
Lovely.
Nice.
Raina Rose, Swing Wide the Gates from her 2013 album Caldera, which we are revisiting today with Raina joining us from her home in Austin, Texas. And if you just joined the party, let us know where you're tuned in from. If you're enjoying maybe a lunch, something for your lunchtime, a beverage. And folks loving the music. Great vibe. Yes. Some great comments coming in. And another one that, again, has this airy feel to it. And it's so interesting that you say you took your time recording this, because I feel like I can, it really does sound different from your other recordings, not just in that it might be more polished, but it actually has a different feel to it altogether, which is interesting to me, given that you said that you called this Caldera because of like having a kid was like kind of blowing up your world. And so it does not sound explosive. It sounds like kind of meditative, but maybe, I don't know, was that self-care? Was that just what you wanted to be hearing or feeling? Or it's just interesting to me. I wouldn't have guessed that those two would have gone together.
That's a really interesting observation. There's like a tiredness to it. Maybe it's like everything is slow because it was like, I'm too tired to do this any faster.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that Paul Carreri sings the harmonies on that. He and Devin, we played a show with them this last weekend. Devin Sproul and Paul Carreri, they're wonderful. And I hadn't listened to that in a while, and I was like, oh, right, Paul sings on that. And if anyone out there hasn't listened to Paul's Carreri and Devin Sproul, you should go listen to them right now.
Yes, very good.
Nice. Yeah. We'll make sure to link to them in our show notes at backcataloglisteningparty.com. And
sure.
you had mentioned the name of the drummer earlier, but I just want to circle back because part of that spaciousness, part of that vibe is just the restraint that is happening from the percussion. It suits the song so well. Can you remind us who that is?
Robin McMillan. He's a genius. He lives in Los Angeles. He lived in Brooklyn for a long time, and he's one of the most. I don't love playing with drummers because I feel like maybe they're not, like, I have to change the breadth of what I'm doing to accommodate them. And with Robin, it's like, he is such a backbone and such a heartbeat that I never feel like anything that I'm doing shifts like, I'm not aware of having to accommodate the drummer when it's Robin, you know?
Yeah. He sounded almost like he was responding to the song, you know what I mean, in real time. Sometimes drummers are just like, I'm just going to play this tempo and we're just going to go and you're going to have to ride on top of me the whole time. But it was like, I was like feeling that in the rhythms and stuff, that like he was like, it was like very organic and just really adds to the sound.
He's such a listener. Yeah, he's such a listener. And then my husband also is, he plays bass, and it's like that with him too, where it's like, he's listening. And so I can just sing my song and feel totally stable and solid in it without having to like even think about what the rhythm section is doing. Like, they're just doing beautiful things and I can just play my song. Yeah, totally. They're special.
That's really
that's
great.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Well, while we're talking about the players, tell us about who was doing that beautiful lead guitar on that track too.
I believe that was Scrappy Judd Newcomb, who's like a Austin legend. He came in, and I'm pretty sure that's him. Played a nice little solo on there.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Yeah,
very nice.
He plays with everybody here.
Love that. Well, this album is sounding so fantastic, and I have to say, if you like what you're hearing now, and we judging by the comments, folks are, then you need to get get the high-res files, get a physical copy. Raina says she still has a couple in at her store. So go to rainarose.com/store and you can pick up one of the CD copy of the album, because it's going to, if you haven't heard a CD in a while, they sound good.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
And the production
so
on this
funny.
record is so good. I think that you're probably missing things if you're just hearing the compressed MP3s, whether you're listening in the podcast or YouTube. Unfortunately, we can't squeeze all of the information into those formats, and it sounds so good. I get the pleasure of listening to the uncompressed WAV files here, and it's one of the more beautifully produced records that we've had here in a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So definitely check it out. rainarose.com/store to buy the music, both Caldera and Vesta and all the other recordings, which you can find. And also you can check out her tour dates. I know you're not touring a ton these days, but you do. You've been doing a little bit more of late. I've been noticing.
dabbling. Yeah.
Dabbling.
Yeah.
But so the best way to know about you is do you have an email list too, or should they just follow you on the socials?
I do. I haven't sent out an email in a long time, but the socials are probably the best way to find out what's happening.
And if you follow her on socials, you might know that Raina has another hat she wears, in addition to, mom of two and the music and all of that, is you have a very cool company that you launched I think you launched it during COVID, right? Or no, was it before that?
2016. We're coming up on 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I was aware of it maybe it's because I was paying more attention.
Well, we really blasted off during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, we really had a good year.
So Folk Potions is the name of the company. And tell us a little bit about it and what goes into the potions.
It's fun. It's herbal infused skincare. We make salves, soaps, body oils, body butters, masks. We sell all sorts of like herbal infused skincare, which means it's all really slow. So it takes time. We macerate dried herbs into oils and filter them out and then make body oils and salves and things like that. It's always something that I was really interested in. Herbalism and plants are things that I just love and can really just dive deep into. And before I started playing music full time, I was messing around playing with plants and doing that kind of thing. And then music takes over your whole life, and that's like becomes your singular focus. So in 2016, when I went on tour of the Northeast for like 10 days, and my kids were 2 and 5, and I went on this solo tour, and I came home with like maybe $500, and I was like, I can't even do this anymore. Like, this doesn't even make, it's like, it didn't make sense to tour with the kids. And then it didn't make sense to tour because it just was like such a strain on our family, and then not enough of a financial boon to make sense to spend that time away. And I didn't want to miss 10 days of my kids' life for, 3 grocery trips, basically. Yeah. So I basically went into a fugue state and started obsessively learning more about herbalism, and just started making these things and selling them on Etsy. I was making them in the kitchen, and my husband Andrew would come in and be like, okay, so it's 5:30, we got to make dinner, what are you doing? I was so obsessed with making things out of plants that it kind of just took over the entire house. And then we have continued to grow, and now I think we've sold over 110,000 units, products, wow. Total. Wow. We've shipped that many containers of salve and lip balm and oils and things like that, which feels pretty amazing because it's healing and it's helpful, and people buy it and use it up and then buy it again. Yeah. So that's with a CD. That's not how that goes. They
buy it once, and maybe they'll buy in one more for a friend or something. But
totally. Yeah. Or they're never going to buy it, and they're just going to listen to it on Spotify. Yeah. When I started touring in 2005, you had to buy a CD if you wanted to hear a song again. Mm-hmm. That was the only way to hear a song a second time, was to actually buy a compact disc. So in the time that I'd been touring, all of that changed. And, I'm not a great capitalist, but when you have kids, you have to do something that brings in money into the house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless you have a trust fund.
Yep. Exactly. And I just want to put in a little plug for Folk Potions, because I have to say, not only have I bought the products and they're amazing, but the customer service is A+. I remember once I asked you, Raina, I had a friend who was having a mastectomy, and I asked what would be good healing, what would be the right kind of product for that, and you gave me the best tips, and I was able to send them a nice care package as a result.
That's so sweet.
So that's awesome. I mean, to especially someone who's healing from something, not just to give them something that they'll appreciate, that you're thinking of them, but also something that both feels good and medically is conducive to the healing process.
Yeah.
So
plants are amazing. Plants are incredible at healing our skin. We have co-evolved together to need each other. Mm-hmm. So that relationship is so beneficial for the plants and the people. You grow and nurture plants, and then you can harvest them and use them to, I don't know, it just blows my mind. I'm just so obsessed with it.
Well, and it's not too far from the healing properties of music too, and what you are able to give. So it seems like a good suite of goods and services that you can now provide. And I bet your merch table's got all the stuff now.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to peruse the store online, you can go to folkpotions.com. And again, we'll have a link on the back catalog listening party episode for Raina Rose. Just go there. There'll be all links to all this good stuff, which you can peruse, the Raina Rose mall. And but without all the other stuff you don't want. So it's all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. Well, I'd love to hear another track as we dive deep into the Caldera. And this one is Badlands. And is it about the Badlands we know of here in the Midwest?
I did write it after seeing the Badlands for the first time. And that was my last state of all 50 states to visit.
That's pretty majestic, too.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I have to say, that's one of the... I haven't been to all 50 yet. I'm still have a few left. But when first time I went to the Badlands, which was just a few years ago, it was one of those few places that actually blew my mind.
So wild. Like, how did that happen? Obviously, there's a scientific explanation, but it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a rite of passage for us here in Minnesota. I talk to all my friends. We all do that trip. And I finally got to take my kids on a trip there last summer. So that's fresh in my mind. And if you haven't been to the Badlands, you should go.
You should go.
But until then, let's listen to Badlands from Raina Rose here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I am Badlands, from here to the Grand Canyon, looking for an answer in this tornado sky, but there's none coming, so we better start running. No matter where we're going, better kiss this town goodbye. Every song that has been sung becomes a star, becomes a sun, becomes a world, a universe spinning and a spinning. Their arms are wide like live oak limbs, their breath is sweet like cinnamon. They're sitting at the bar again, softly reminiscing. I am the Badlands, from here to the Grand Canyon, looking for an answer in this tornado sky, but there's none coming, so we better start running. No matter where we're going, better kiss this town goodbye. You got a map and a compass, Rose, you're heading south just like the birds. You're flying like a fever and you quickly lose daylight. So never mind that shove of wind blowing in your face, my friend. Never mind the balancing of fear and fondness that you fight. Just put on your city coat, I'll lock the doors, push the boat. We're going out looking, but we don't know what for. It could be dawn on the horizon, it could be night, I could be lying, it could be 1940, I could be headed off to war. Nothing is a state of mind, somewhere on the county line. The air is blowing sweet and fine, and you find you have it all. So dance Badlands just for the dance of it, and the dust blows up like parting gifts. You put your ear up to my lips where the secrets like a shawl. I am the Badlands, from here to the Grand Canyon, looking for an answer in this tornado sky, but there's none coming, so we better start a running. No matter where we're going, better kiss this town goodbye, goodbye.
All right. Raina Rose,
Nice.
Badlands, from her 2013 album Caldera, which we are revisiting today. And yeah, folks joining in the comments. Cool song. And
Thanks,
I
Christopher.
agree. Right from the spooky piano at the beginning, which I really dug. It created a vibe. And then I also like some of the other sounds, like there's some, I don't know what was creating, if it was a synth thing or a guitar thing that was creating like almost a whistling wind, like a
Mhm.
Yeah,
high
that
thing
was cool.
happening. Yeah.
We had a lot of weird instruments in there. I think the like piano was John Elliott, and then some of the synth stuff was this guy Christopher Cox, who did just like, I think he just did sounds over the almost the whole record, just like weird synthy spooky sounds.
That's great.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about like how you approach some of the arrangements for these songs. Obviously, you play with your husband Andrew Pressman a lot, or you were playing bass, but like he produced it. So like, did you guys talk about the songs, or did you kind of, how did you come up with the arrangements? Or
So I basically gave him free reign. I am not a details guy. I am really hyper focused on lyrics, and that's kind of what I'm always thinking about is words. So he arranged everything. He, got all the pieces together. He's the mind behind how the album sounds, for sure.
awesome.
And he is a details guy. So
Good team.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I like write the songs, and then he like figures out all the little treats, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, great job, Andrew. If you're listening,
He's at work.
kudos. Yeah, exactly. Love that. And I also, again, I love, it really is feels like a lot of this record has like a landscapey vibe, right?
Mhm.
Like you do kind of feel like you're traveling through these little parts of you, or the country as a metaphor. I don't know, but it really takes me to another place, is what I'm trying to say.
That's great. Yeah. I think I felt pretty lost at this time period,
Mhm.
like touring with an infant, feeling like it was like everything in my life was changing at this point, So like there is this feeling of unmooredness to that time, because it was like I had been, I had boyfriends, but none serious, basically the entire time that I lived in a car and traveled the country, because I did not want an anchor, And so, but that was a choice. Like that didn't make me feel unmoored, because I was in charge of my own destiny. I could just make whatever decision that I wanted to make. And so at that time period, all of a sudden I was accountable to my husband. I was accountable to being a mom. Becoming a mom changes your entire, like, rewires your actual brain. So, like, there's so much at that time that was, it felt like it, like the entire, like you're balancing on a log in the ocean, where it's like the ground is always changing. You have no idea what's coming next. Like, everything is new and it's beautiful, but you also are just like, at any minute I could drown. That's
Yeah.
kind of the vibe of the album, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting. Some people have said that touring or being a creative person uniquely prepares you for parenthood because you're used to kind of piecing things together. And
Sure.
but it is still a big shift. I mean,
Yeah.
especially because, as you said, it was all you. And so you could make whatever decision you want. And I think
Yeah.
even just changing your decision-making process is a big shift.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it is a lot. But
Yeah.
this album beautifully captures all of those feelings in these songs. I
Thank
really
you.
love it. Really, really great.
And if you're out there listening live, we still have a little time left in this hour. So get your questions and comments to Raina here before the end of the hour.
That's right. And we want to take this opportunity to thank the folks that have kept this show going we're getting close to that 300th episode, folks.
I know. That's wild.
I know. So 6 years, folks. We want to thank the folks that have kept this party going. What party lasts 6 years?
I don't know.
This one, yeah, apparently. Penny, Anna, Linda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Severin, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, Neighbor Ann, BZ, Paul, Cynthia, Ross, Mike, Eric, Phil, Ryan, and maybe you, if you want to join this mighty crew of partiers that join us. The nice thing about this party, though, is you don't need to get dressed up. You don't need to do anything. You can do it from your home or for your cabin or wherever you're tuned in from. Every week, you'll get an invite to a live taping here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. You get to hang out with artists like Raina, ask questions. Super
Listen
fun.
to music with no other agenda, but just, appreciation, which is a kind of a lost art. A lot of us did that in our youth, and it's such a great gift to yourself every week to be able to just put the headphones on, get a nice pair of speakers, and listen to music. And there's something magic that happens when you do it together, especially with the artist who is actually joining you there at the same time. So I'm just going to say, if you're looking for a little space like that in your life, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
And Alan, one of our Patreon folks, just chimed in the chat to say, and an invite to Green, Texas with a place to stay. So that's right. If you join the Patreon, you're like family. So,
That's right.
So if you want to head down to Texas and hang out with Alan, with other music nerds, this is the place to hang out. So you can do that by going to that link, patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party. But if you're just tuned into the podcast, we are so grateful for your ears, and we hope you're enjoying the show in whatever way that you are joining the party. And if you are liking the show, make sure to like it, review it, leave a comment. That really makes a difference for reaching new ears. But most importantly, subscribe on your favorite platform, because then you'll get notified of what's coming up next. And every week we have a pretty sweet hour of music and conversation to share.
Yeah.
So this hour is going fast, Raina.
Oh, wow. It has.
I know. Okay. We're going to get to this next song, Drum Machine. Is there anything you want to say about this one?
Yeah. Okay. This is Minnesota tie-in. I was driving, we played the Story Hill Fest in Minnesota. And then I drove back down with Danny Schmidt and Emmett, who was not quite one yet on this right around the time that this song was written.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's give it a spin. A great way to close out our hour here with Raina Rose. This is Drum Machine on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
just hold on to. Is it your patchwork pattern heartbeat? Breathing the Gatling gun, eyes of the noon sun. And when the shade comes, the constellations, sadness so sexy rises like the tides. The likes of my eyes often see. The likes of my eyes often seen.
Gotta wait for those sounds to dissipate. That's great. Raina Rose with Drum Machine, and when the title is Drum Machine, and with such a great drummer, as you mentioned, Robin McMillan, but that was not a drum machine. That was a real person.
No.
And I could see Anthony. I saw you doing your air drumming.
Oh man,
Anthony,
yeah,
his first instrument was drums. So
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm always keying in, and when I hear a great drummer, man, it just makes my day. And this,
Yeah.
this has been great listening to again just the rhythms, bass, drums, guitar, all of it. Kind of really like we talked about earlier. Like this, a lot of this record is vibey and it's like in a groove kind of way. Like there's been this kind of head bobbing kind of groove going on in all these tunes, and that one especially had me bobbing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
that's like the lowest I can possibly sing also.
I was gonna say, and also like your voice, and you were saying maybe you were tired because you had a little one at the time. But I have to say your vocals are different on this record than in past records too. Like and maybe it's just because the whole recording, was going for a different sound, but and I wouldn't say necessarily quieter, but just like a different feel to it.
That is that is one thing that I've always in the past, when you make a record in 2 days and everything's live and you can't edit anything, like you're just trying to hold on, you're like on a ladder as the helicopter runs away, like, so with this, like I could really relax into it. I was not playing guitar at the same time as I was singing, and I just could completely relax myself before I'd sing. And then if I mess something up, we could edit it or do another take. And that freedom, it was like, it's never like riding on that moment. And all the previous records, like if you mess it up in this moment, it's over.
Right.
So
especially when you have 2 days. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, I don't know why. I mean, it's always been money that I've made records so quickly.
Yeah.
And then this one was like at the beginning of the Kickstarter era. So I had a little bit more resource with which to make this record. And then I think it resulted in a better product,
Yep. Yeah.
And I just want to say, circling back to Ellen's comment after the first song, was saying, thinking about road trips and things like that. Throughout all these tunes, I did think about being on the road, but every time it was like midnight. and like this is the record I would put on, when you got a couple more hours to go before you get to the hotel, and the moon is high in the sky. This is the groove, man, that I want on the radio when I'm at that point of the road trip. So
that's awesome. Thank you, Anthony. I love that. That's a great compliment.
And 'tis the season for road trips, folks. So if you are going on a road trip, whether it's something short just to the cabin for the weekend, or maybe one of these more epic road trips like to the Badlands or something, or to Green, Texas, then this record might be just the thing for it. So go to rainarose.com/store, pick up a physical copy of this record, beef up that record collection, and if you have a CD player in the car, fire it in there, or just get the high-res tracks so you can listen to them in their full glory, because it's Sounds really good, and all times of year, whether you're driving or not, but highly recommend.
Yes.
Make sure to follow Raina on all the social places, folkpotions.com, rainarose.com, catch her at Kerrville Folk Festival around the campfires. And
Come on.
I also want to mention that I got a message that Vanessa Lively, our good friend, and yours, Raina, another Austin artist, she's been listening with her boys. So hi,
Aw.
Vanessa.
We love you, Vanessa.
Past guest here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. And so big thanks
Love
to
it.
all of you for joining us. And Linda says, thanks for the perfect show for today.
Thanks, Linda.
Comments flying in. Thanks for the lovely music and good stories. Thanks, Raina, for a great show.
That's so sweet.
Yes. Thank you, Raina, for sharing these songs with us.
And a great
It's an
hour.
honor. It's really fun to listen. I haven't actually listened to this album in years, so thank you.
Perfect.
And you're still smiling, so that's a good sign too.
Oh,
So-
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Mission accomplished. I feel
That's
like
right.
that's our other mission, other than introducing or reintroducing people to great records and talking about them and having a fun hour. Our other goal is to remind artists that they've created great art, because I
Amen.
think it's easy to just forget.
Yeah.
You know?
So easy to forget.
So
Yeah.
good job, Raina.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Past and present.
Gold star.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in and spending this hour with us. And just keep supporting independent music and musicians like Raina. And we'll see you back here next week on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. It's empty.
Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.